Hi, so I've been doing a few Retribution alpha videos recently. I've just been able to get in properly as soon as I've moved house. Now I've got the internet back up, and I'll still be continuing some of those. There's still some more to do, and at the end of it I'll do a bit of a review. Mostly positive, I'm going to say, but there are one or two things I'm less than happy about. But there is one thing that it's not just me, that every Retribution Paladin that has looked at this and understood it is very, very negative about, and it's the sort of thing that really needs changing ultra quickly, especially as Blizzard have come out to defend this. I had a post on one of my videos from a Matthew Edwards saying, "Oh, really pumped for Legion now for Retribution," and so am I. But sorry, Matthew, this is going to be a bad one. And it's to do with the blessings. Now, when the blessings were first announced, it was joyous. This was absolutely fantastic. The blessing of might, blessing of wisdom, and blessing of kings. Because the problem that we have always had as Retribution, or always had in the last couple of expansions, let's say, is utility. We simply don't have the utility. And Blizzard have tried to say, of course, you've got loads of utility, loads of utility. If we've got loads of utility, how come we're not brought for utility? We rarely are. There are some guilds who will do, especially very, very top guilds like the top 10, will do without Retribution Paladins altogether. And there are a few in the ones just outside that group, but they happen to be exceptional. And all the way down the list, you will see Retribution missing. And we've lost even more utility than we currently have. Blessing of Sacrifice or Hand of Sacrifice, whatever you want to call it, is going. All we're literally going to be left with is Lay on Hands, which is rarely used, and even when you do use it, there's no real guarantee you've actually done any good, because a healer might have been throwing in a heal just as you did it. Blessing of Protection, which is ultra niche. Blessing of Protection is getting a bit better, granted, but it's still niche, you know. And although we might get to use it on a few tanks, on a fight-to-fight basis, it's not great. You can easily do without it, and you will have to do without it because, you know, of the cooldown on it. And Blessing of Freedom, again, super niche. Maybe every now and then you get to use it. In a typical tier, it gets no use. None at all. So we're basically now without utility. A number of other classes have lost some utility as well. But other classes do still have some. Not all. But the ones who don't tend to be useful for other things as well. Like they're useful for doing odd jobs. We're not going to be that useful for that. So we need some utility. Then the blessings came out, and we look at them. Blessing of Kings gives you an absorption shield. I'm running around now with all three blessings. The absorb shield you get off Blessing of Kings is crap. Absolutely useless. Never mind, on to the next one. Blessing of Wisdom. Health and mana back. Sounds okay. But who really like... The health it turns out to be an extremely low amount of healing per second. It's pathetic. And the mana, well, who really struggles for mana? Arcane mages and healers. And you say to them, I'm going to give it, you know, this blessing, it gives you 1% mana. Oh, 1% mana a second, that sounds all right. No, let me finish. 1% mana every 15 seconds. They will just look at you as if you've shat on the ground. They won't know what to make of what you've just said. It's useless. But Blessing of Might to the rescue. So we get a chance to do extra damage as holding. We can put this on up to 3 people. It'll work out at around about 3% extra damage. Sounds great. But then people say, you know, and there's this post here attacking the fact it's just like the old Dark Intent and people fighting over it. Yes, that's true. Is it good? No, it's not. But I'd rather be the person who was fighting over my buff than being one of the people fighting for it and not having anything to contribute myself. But the problem runs deeper than that. The problem with this post is the person is perfectly correct. It is bad design. But they haven't given the real reasons why it's such terrible design. And I would urge particularly US players, because it's no point in posting on EU forums because you're not listened to. If I create a starter account and post on US forums, again, not listened to, you know, level 1 or whatever is not going to be any good. We need actual active Retribution Paladins on the US forums to post about this. But don't just post saying it's bad design. I want you to listen to my arguments on this. and I want you to show it to other Retribution Paladins, and I want people to get involved. And if you disagree with me, fine, put reasons why you disagree so we can actually have a discussion. But here are the main reasons. The first one is the fact that what is basically happening with these blessings now is the damage from Blessing of Might is going to be attributed to the Paladin. So I put this on, let's say, myself and two other people. Two of the top damage dealers in the raid. The damage they're doing with it counts for me. Now that's actually terrible. Some people look at that, that's great, isn't it? No, it's not. It's awful. It's absolutely dreadful. And the first reason, there's two main reasons. The first reason is it means it's no longer utility because we're not doing it for the raid. It's just for ourselves. So it's not utility. So therefore we now have no utility again. So, but of course Blizzard could later on give us some utility. They could add something in. I'm not sure they're planning on. And of course at the moment I'm only level 101. Now that I'm in the alpha, I'm not really paying too much attention to other things that I haven't found out yet because I want to discover it for myself. Maybe as I level up to 110, you get another little ability and maybe one of them some really good utility. Okay, I doubt it, quite frankly. I very much... In the fact that other Retribution Paladins, top Retribution Paladins, are discussing this as being a really bad design means that's not the case. But that's only the first reason. The second reason is even worse. Even worse. Because the damage is going to count for us, our overall damage is going to be balanced around it. The min-maxing on this is going to be incredibly painful. In order for us to do good damage, we need to make sure that we place it not actually on ourselves even. We've got to place it on the 3 DPS who are doing the most damage. And it's not going to be as simple as just going, oh, well, those 3 are going to do top damage. I'll put it on those 3. No, no, no. Because in different parts of a fight, different people might be doing different amounts of damage. So you really need to be analysing fights and logs to the extent where you're saying, okay, for the first minute it's those 3 doing the most damage. And then it's those 3. And then one of the people you bless might die and you're losing a load of damage. Your damage is reliant upon other people doing well. And you might have to change it around. You might have to go, okay, this first part of the fight, they've got really awesome cooldowns that they're going to throw out straight away and they're going to race to the top of the meters. I'll put it on those 3. But then maybe after half a minute, their damage, drops quite a lot. And maybe some other ones with more consistent damage are the people to put it on. And you won't see this on damage meters easily. You really have to go back to logs later so that, you can't do this on the fly and work out who's doing the most damage at a particular point and hope someone's consistently doing it and move it around. Keep moving these blessings around. Oh my God! Really? In order for, and you could argue that, okay, a lot of Retribution Paladins maybe doing normal mode won't have to do that because, effort. But if you really want to min-max, you're going to have to do that. It boggles the mind. It absolutely boggles the mind. And the real kick in the teeth on this one, the absolute kick on the teeth, on this reply by Celestalon, is that then... they're acknowledging that it's going to take work for them to make the damage be attributed to us. Because you've got to remember, when we look at damage, what we're looking at a damage meter or we're looking at logs. Neither of these things are provided by Blizzard. They allow them. But third-party people create these. So they're going to actually put effort into making sure that when you're using damage meters and using logs, that damage is counted for us. They're putting effort into screwing us over, it seems. Of course, that's not the intention. They just think it's a really great idea. And that is why it's really important to go on the US forums and to go on this thread or another thread and actually say this. But you've got to set out what the problems are. You don't just say, oh, this is really bad. And because if that happens, if people can set out their objections and there's a clear, overwhelming, hatred, it's a strong word, but still, disdain, shall we say, for this ability, then Blizzard will have to change it. I know it's really annoying if this blessing works as the old Dark Intent and we can put it on 3 people and they'll get extra damage because those people will fight for it. That is bad. But this is far worse because now we have nothing that brings us into a raid other than our damage is the only thing. And I have to say, it's very, very hard to justify your position. Some fights just simply need a lot of people to do utility type things, and then you're not brought. And the other thing, you know, when you're reliant on your damage, you have to do more damage than other people to justify your spot because those other people have got utility. Then to be able to do loads of damage, to be able to pick which three are going to contribute the most to you, because it's a significant amount of damage. If all this damage is going to the paladin, that's like 3% extra damage or just under. For 3 people, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And it's reliant on others. And you've got to then track those others. As well as doing your normal stuff, you've got to act like a healer. You've got to be paying attention to others, or a raid leader perhaps, paying attention to others. As soon as someone starts to drop off, and how the hell do you know that? You've got to be transferring it to someone else, or if they die, transfer it to someone else bloody quick. Imagine someone dying during a major cooldown. God, the damage you'd lose is horrendous. It just doesn't bear thinking about. And I know we've got the Retribution ability. That means we do extra damage when someone dies. I'm not sure. And fair enough, for a brief period of time, that would overdo it. But, I mean, I'm assuming that ability is going to go as well, but never mind, that's on that one. So, okay, enough waffling. To summarise, I really would urge people who are on US servers to post on the US forums on your paladin and really set this out. I mean, we need utility. This now means it's not going to be classed as utility. Blizzard could argue it's still going to do the same amount of damage for the raid. Yes, it is. But because people tend to be a little bit selfish about these things, if it's not doing other people any good, it's not utility. And as I say, the second reason is the micromanagement that's going to be required to move it around, to make sure that at different phases of the fight, you're putting it on the 3 people who are doing the most damage for each of those 3 phases, or however many phases there are, I should say, sorry, is going to be annoying as hell. Getting it wrong will make a significant dent in your damage. Absolutely. And when you're playing at a high level, absolutely catastrophic. So those are my thoughts then. Say what you think, but particularly say what you think on the US forums. If you disagree with me or you think I've forgotten something, by all means post here and we'll have a discussion. But oh my God, I have yet to see anyone who properly understands this now and thinks it's a good idea. But anyway, until happier news with some of my other videos that will be coming out this weekend, I'll see you later.